PushGapRadio.com, Hamilton Park, Dallas, Fort Worth.
And when it comes to your old Elijah,
you are the father!
Oh, God.
What happened to the internet?
I turned it off, Keefine.
Why the fuck would you turn it off? I was in the middle of my game.
I asked you several times to leave your sister alone, and you keep bothering her. You need to learn how to listen.
Turn the fucking internet back on.
When you learn how to listen, then I'll turn the internet back on.
Turn the fucking internet back on.
Keefine, first of all, I am on the toilet. You need to respect my privacy and leave my bathroom.
You see this? I'm gonna knock you the fuck out with it if you don't turn the internet back on.
Keefine, I am on the toilet. Okay?
Turn it back on right now.
Leave my bathroom now. I'll turn it on when I get off.
Hey, yo, what's happening?
Hey, man, what's up, man? What's up with you?
Shit, what you mean what's up with me? Shit, what I do?
You can hear it in my voice, huh? So listen, check this out, man. I just got off the phone with your grandmother, man, and she told me you always getting smart with her.
By how? What you mean getting smart?
Every time she tell you to do something, man, clean up, do something, you always got a question as to why you got to do it.
Man, look here, I don't know what she's talking about, man. She be thinking she could tell me to do this and that.
She can. That's your grandmother. She can. Listen, if it weren't for that woman, you and your brother would have got lost in the system because your mama and your daddy was in and out of jail all the time. 4 o'clock in the morning, she got to get up out of her bed to come get y'all 5 hours away just so the police don't put y'all in the system. And you disrespecting her? Listen, I'm going to tell you like this, man. The very next time my mom called me and tell me that you got something to say about her telling you to do something, I am going to fly up there personally and beat your motherfucking ass.
I'm waiting.
Waiting for what?
For you to turn the fucking internet back on.
I turned it on, Keefine. You have to give it at least
you
5...
You fucking liar. If it's not done by the time I get back, I'm going to tear this fucking house up. Watch me, bitch.
And if your daddy got something to say about it, I'm going to whoop his ass too. You going to stop getting smart with my mom. That's your grandmother.
Michael, you are not the father.
Your Honor, I just want the truth.
He is the father. I've said that from the beginning.
Mr. Daniels, you are not the biological father.
So all this time you knew? I gave you everything. For a child that isn't mine.
I'm sorry, I'm not paying for no mandatory test.
I think it's very important that we get these things established very early on, because the last thing we want is someone raising a child for 5, 6, 7 years believing it's theirs.
How can a man walk away from a child that he has been raising for 3, 5, 10, 15 years simply because the DNA test shows that he's not the biological father? Hear me out here. I'm not being insensitive. I know that his world has just been turned upside down. I know he feels betrayed. He's devastated. I empathize. I sympathize with his predicament. However, how is one able to walk away from a child that one has bonded with, loved, nurtured, poured blood and sweat into, simply because the DNA test shows that you're not the biological father?
I had 2 guys call in. They work at DNA testing centers. One guy had to quit. One guy still works there. He told me 40% of the children are not the man's child. 40%.
Mandatory DNA testing before signing a birth certificate.
You're mother right.
Yes.
Put that on God's record, bitch. Because my thing is, it could save so many families, children, and BDs a whole heap of heartache.
Yep.
Because it makes no sense, and it is also not medically sound to just leave it in the hands of the good Lord on who the real baby daddy is.
PushGapRadio.com, bridging the gap between old school and new school radio. PushGapRadio.com. It's Dallas, baby.
PushGapRadio.com in Hamilton Park, Dallas, Fort Worth. Welcome back to another edition of the bangingest thing on your urban internet radio dial. Yeah, for all you chicks talking about you don't need no damn man. See that youngster sitting there talking to her? Real bad. See, a woman has to tell a kid something 10, 12, 25 fucking times, man. But when it comes to his dad or a man in his life, there's always the undercurrent and the threat of violence. And that little boy knew that. Like Kinfolk just said, talk to my mama like that again, nigga. And I got something for you. We gonna get right into it, mine. Mandatory paternity test. Boy, I know y'all ain't gonna like this one. So you know they dropping a new law that's gonna force mandatory paternity testing. Man, a lot of y'all finna be upset. And honestly, I can speak on it, because I was a victim of paternity fraud when I first moved to Texas back in '85. This is such a beautiful thing, mine, because this makes sure that it's holding these chicks accountable, fam. For y'all wanting to refuse a DNA test or have such an issue with DNA testing, this is for you chicks, the ones who be trying to get over. You know you running around here banging other niggas. Yeah, this specifically for y'all. How easy is it for you to just sit there and say you don't know who the baby daddy is, then be embarrassed later on by it not being old boy's baby? So I think that this law that's forcing mandatory paternity tests, it's a good thing. And for you brothers out there, don't be signing the paperwork, mine, until you get a lawyer or somebody, particularly you're not married, but even if you are married, because some places don't allow you to contest it after a while, after a short time period. Because I think you have like a 2-year limit. Chick told me it was my baby. I flew back to Gary, my cousin. She went and found out that it was another nigga's baby. So this is a beautiful thing, mine. I was almost a victim. But again, thanks to my cousin, went in there strong arming up there in Gary, Indiana. Hey, keep it a hundo. You wouldn't have to deal with it. Because you already know how some of these low-down ass chicks feel about it. Roll tape.
Do you think paternity tests should be mandatory at birth?
It depends, but I could just say yes, just in case. No. In this day and time, sure. Well, if you married, no, because you married, there should be a serious level of trust. Because there's no way I go marrying somebody knowing that, 2-1, this man ain't gonna be faithful to me. That don't make no sense.
Are all married women faithful?
No.
So if all are not faithful, why not have paternity tests mandated just to be sure?
Well, yeah, you're right. I agree with you on that.
I feel like trust should be there in order what it is, and trust should be there to the fact where you don't need the mandatory paternity test. I said what I said.
I be the paw boss. I'm the paw that they're young and boss. I'm the peppy.
Yeah, women talking about they entitled to bodily autonomy. To do a DNA test, you don't necessarily need the DNA of the mother. Would it go smoothly? Yeah, it'd go a lot better. But shouldn't a father be able to know that the kid ain't his? Mama's baby, daddy's maybe. Shouldn't be offensive for someone to ask for a damn DNA test. Men want to know. That's why we look for virgins. It's not really addressed or talked about in society. You know that, man. Some of y'all done been hit. You don't have a clue how many people prior to our generation or this time that our fathers, our grandfathers aren't really our grandfathers and fathers. A lot of people took that shit to the grave, man, and never spoke on it. And one thing women have never been held accountable for is paternity fraud, even today. We need to update the family court laws. Feminism done just ran rapid. Yeah, this my body, my choice thing. They done took this shit too far. And now we overcorrecting. But in the next few years, you're going to see a lot of people wanting to have a conversation about what's going down with the paternity testing. To catch you up on what I'm kicking game about, check this out.
Breaking news, guys, you will now be forced to take a DNA test after your baby is born now, because a lot of confusion has been going on during the years. So now they are making it to you have to take a DNA test as soon as the baby is born with the dude that you claim to be the dad. The dad cannot sign that birth certificate until the DNA results come back that the child is his. I feel like this is a very good thing nowadays, because sometimes the mom might be confused, don't know who the baby daddy is, and point it.
Confused is crazy way to describe that.
To the person that she thinks the baby daddy is for some reason, and it's not fair to the dad that's not the baby daddy, that still be taking care of a baby that's not his. So lawfully, I feel like this is a very great decision. I don't feel like anybody should be mad about this decision. Your baby needs to get that mouth swabbed, and that man do too. He needs to make sure that baby is his before he be signing any type of papers. Don't be mad at me, be mad at the source. And Another thing is, if you have a man that you claim the dad is and it's not the dad, he can sue you now.
Anywhere from 5 to 30% of the general population, men are raising and paying for children that are not theirs and don't know. According to the American Association of Blood Banks, between 25 and 30% of the males who are accused of being the father, they take a paternity test and find out they did not do it.
Are you for mandatory DNA testing at birth?
I am absolutely on record as saying that if we want to prevent the problem of having men challenge paternity later down the road, then let's apply a proactive solution. Automatic DNA testing at birth would work to help two things. One, we would assure that the right parents were named on the birth certificate. Two, it would stop paternity fraud and take the profit out of paternity fraud.
But so many women's groups say this wouldn't be fair. You're acting like you don't trust the mother. Why do you think they say that?
It's a red herring. It takes away from the focus of, well, who's the one person who has all of the information about potential fathers or the paternity candidates? It is the child's mother. And currently, in most places, she has no duty to disclose that, well, wait a minute. Well, my husband's not really my child's father. My boyfriend is. Like, well, wait, lady. But you're married. You forgot that you were married? No.
But it requires signatures from both parents. Personally, I think it should only be one parent required in order to request it. But you got to crawl before you walk, right? It's funny how it's my body, my choice, even when the father wants DNA proof that he's the pappy before signing his name on the birth certificate. Women that choose men that are either A, their relationship option, right? Or B, the man is in a better financial position, meaning higher child support payments. That is just straight up fraud. But anyway, the internet is ablaze with seething 304 anger, right? Because that's the only type of woman that would not want this type of accountability, right?
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Harrington, you are not the father.
What? Told you.
Yeah, you ain't got no bigger problems. You just trying to hide your damn dirt. Again, a gang of y'all know what's going down. Now, while no state currently enforces universal mandatory paternity testing at birth for all newborns, a growing number of states require mandatory genetic testing under specific legal and administrative circumstances. Like in Georgia, their law mandates genetic testing in all newly established child support cases where paternity ain't been declared yet. Not formally anyway. Kentucky, Arkansas, they enforce statutory provisions that allow courts or state family agencies to order mandatory genetic testing upon request, particularly when public assistance is involved or when parentage is contested in child support proceedings. In state family court systems like Florida, Texas, and California, a lot of them judges might routinely start issuing mandatory court orders for DNA testing. Again, in them contested paternity suits or when unestablished fathers seek custody and visitation rights. Now, anywhere from 5 to 30% of the general population, men raising children and paying for kids that ain't theirs and don't even know it. This according to the American Association of Blood Banks, fam. And most males who are accused of being the father, they took the damn test and found out like Maury told you.
When it comes to 1-year-old Monet, Lil Warren, you are not the father.
The father. Are you for mandatory testing? If we want to prevent the problem of men challenging paternity later on, let's have a proactive solution then. That's the way I feel. Automatic testing would work to help two things. One, we assure that the right parent is on the birth certificate, and it would stop paternity fraud. We just won't look at it. Courts are running rampant. Chicks talking about this wouldn't be fair because you don't trust the mom. Believe all women. You chicks be lying too. Who's the one person who has all the information and know who the daddy is? It's the child's mom, fam. Come on now. And she ain't got no duty to disclose that, even if the husband ain't. But come fraud, you understand? No accountability. None. Now, here's a guy who's going to break down about, there's a law in New York about bastardizing the child. I'd never heard of that one, but he's going to break it down. Rotate.
That child, if the child is born to the wife, that the husband is considered the father. There's a rebuttable presumption of this, a legal rebuttable presumption of this. The second instance when paternity fraud happens is when a couple is not married or a woman is not married and she convinces somebody to sign the acknowledgement of paternity, however she does it. The fact is, it happens all too often, and then when it comes out later that this child is not, that the father is not actually the biological father, there are a lot of instances when the courts will simply not want to hear it and will not hear it. They'll use something called equitable estoppel, because if it is determined that the child recognizes the man, husband, ex-husband, just, ex-boyfriend, whatever, to be the child's father, the court will not, and this is the legal term, bastardize the child. There is a public policy, at least in New York, against bastardizing children.
I see.
And I see this from kind of the two angles. The first angle is obviously the father's angle. There's a fraud. It was committed. The wife was unfaithful. The girlfriend just lied to him. She was sleeping around and he was the least onerous possible man in her life that could be the father of the child. I've actually heard testimony. I've heard women actually go on the record and admit that they didn't know and they just assumed and they had no idea and they were sleeping around, but they wanted this person to be the father. That's terrible. It's fraud. It's straight up fraud. The second instance, the second part of the equation is the child's. This child knows somebody to be its father. And to have that knowledge taken away, for that person to be ripped out of that child's life, is cruel and wrong, and the law recognizes that. That's where equitable estoppel comes from. So there are no winners when this happens. There are only losers. I have to question the father, the parent, who would just divorce themselves from a child because that child is not biologically his, even if they raise that child for years and years and years. It's a sad state of affairs. The more you know.
You should stop buying stuff for him.
Why wouldn't I buy stuff for my son?
Because he's not your son. Sad to say, but he's not your son.
Whoa. What the hell you mean he's not my son?
He's not your son. I've been meaning to tell you for the past 7 years. He's not your son.
Well, you've been meaning to tell me for 7 years that the child that I've been raising with you is not mine?
You're not even raising him. The only thing that you do is take him to school. Why you think he don't look like you? Why you think he don't have your personality? Hell, he don't even like you.
Yeah, I tell you another thing.
He
ain't got. I tell you another thing. He ain't got.
He not your son.
He ain't got no.
Yeah, bastardizing mine. Y'all be letting some of these chicks gaslight you, fam. They know you ain't the damn father. Again, it happened to me. 1/3 of paternity tests already currently coming back saying niggas are not the father. Men and women cheat at the same rate. They want you to believe that just niggas be cheating. We're in a sexually liberated society today. You don't know. She ain't no virgin. How many bodies she got? Mike told you, the kid is not my son. It's too much data today to sit back and not make sure. Even having conversations about the ideal of it can go left because it's ticking these chicks off. If it's his baby, why are you so afraid to take a damn test? You should want to. I'm offended. He don't trust me. You chicks cheat too, all the damn time. If niggas is cheating, who they cheating with? I don't see a single argument outside of why you should be offended. Remove the doubt. Now, here's kinfolk telling you again how you letting these chicks gaslight you, mine. Roll tape.
This is directed to all you prideful dudes that say, oh, I don't check phones. Oh, I'm not insecure. He got more money than you. And all 3 kids don't belong to him. So what that say about you and your situation? Y'all be letting some of these shawties gaslight, try to not get DNA tests, talking about some, that's going to be insecure of you. That's not right. How could you not trust me? Man, what? Bro, I don't care how she feel. A real woman not going to care that you want a DNA test, bro.
Nope.
So now, I'm not going to sit here and say all women are like this. Of course not. But you can never be too sure. Just like girls be quick to assume or ask questions and she apologizes afterwards, you should be allowed to assume just the same and then apologize afterwards. Not too insecure but just for the right circumstances like this. Every child I had out the DNA testing. Facts. You moving weird, you been acting extra angry with me, I'm checking that phone. Facts. It's 12 dudes in the city right now that I can say their girlfriends is still messing with my homeboys after they had that baby, after they boy done put them in that house. Stop being a clown.
John, you are not.
Okay, I have a question. Should a woman go to prison for falsely claiming that the man is the father of a child that is not his? I ask that because in Tennessee, they close to passing a law called paternity fraud, which requires a mother to spend 18 months in the pokey nigga if she lies on the wrong man. Ain't no repercussions for them. They know that. They go with whoever got the fattest pocket. Talking about the man should be responsible for who he has sex with. But the law is finally recognizing that the man shouldn't be responsible. Particularly the woman has multiple sex partners and this nigga don't even know. So again, I ask the question, should a woman go to prison for falsely claiming that the man is the father of a child, nigga, that ain't his? These chicks' feelings is hurt. Here's whatever podcast. Edit.
Would you be offended if he asked you for a paternity test?
I would say yes, because it shows that he doesn't trust me. Because I feel like at that stage in marriage, it's like, if you don't trust me, then you shouldn't be with me.
Yeah, I'd be offended.
Andrew, any thoughts on the...
Yeah, I'd like to ask a slightly different question. What if he went ahead and took a paternity test without your knowledge? And then you found out about it, would that upset you?
Yes, it's the same. I mean, it's worse, even.
Yeah, but if he knew that you, maybe perhaps you'd had discussions about this or something like this.
Mm-hmm.
If he knew that you were against this, or you thought that somehow this was him bringing your integrity into question, and so in order to spare that, right, this is perhaps he's anxious on his own part or whatever, for whatever reason, he decided that he would just go ahead and do this on his own to establish paternity in order to not upset you. Isn't he kind of in a catch-22 there? Right? Isn't he in a catch-22? Either he tells you about it and you get super upset, so he has to do that.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, what are his options at that point?
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't tell you, I mean, what you don't know doesn't hurt you, but...
Right.
Like, doing anything behind your, communication and trust is that, because even you said, like, it's bigger than the relationship. I mean, trust is the relationship, in my opinion. If I don't trust someone or my friends, what am I... Why would I be in the relationship with them? So...
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm not looking at this from your perspective. I'm trying to look at it from the other person's perspective. So women are always assured of paternity. That's not a thing that they ever have to worry about, right? They know it's their baby because it's coming out of them, right?
Yeah.
Men are the only ones who are ever going to have doubts about paternity. Since that is the case, if they wanted the peace of mind of a paternity test, which since almost all forms of family go from father to son, including the last name living on, I understand why men want a paternity established, especially now that we can do it. And for most of human history, we couldn't. I'm not even sure that, well, it's not even, I'm not even sure. I don't think that it even has anything to do with whether or not they trust their partner, but rather it's just peace of mind.
Now, in some cases, a judge will still make you take care of a kid that ain't yours. Remember back in the day? I know in Gary, Indiana, they used to say, nigga, feed him till he look like you. Check out the big homie. Roll tape.
This is specifically for couples who are not married. Trip.
You know, I was in the barbershop and this young man stopped me and he said that he was in a long-term relationship. They had a child. They were living together at the time.
Parkinson says the man went on to say that after the kid turned 5, he found out his partner had an affair, and a DNA test later revealed the man was not the child's father after all.
When they went to court over the child support, he presented the DNA evidence. The magistrate, and this is in Shelby County Juvenile Court, the magistrate basically banged the gavel down and said, somebody's got to feed him, and it's going to be you until he ages out of child support.
Parkinson says the man ended up having to pay up to 5 years in child support. 2698 will make it so that if a prospective father wants to voluntarily sign a birth certificate, he has to provide DNA test results first. Parkinson says this doesn't only impact Memphis.
The rural district attorneys were looking for somebody to carry legislation to start reforming our child support system, because it's rural guys that are getting hit with these same laws, and it is hurting them.
Now, I reached out to the Department of Human Services for a response to this, and they did not immediately give me a response. Once we have that, of course, we'll update this story for you. Now, this bill moves on to the Senate floor tomorrow morning.
Again, chicks always want to talk about men cheat. Y'all cheat just as much or more. 1 out of 3, you are not the father, mine. But I'm going to let kinfolk explain that.
This is what's so, I don't want to say tricky, but telling about this conversation, because all you hear women complaining about is how all men cheat, and no matter how much you do for a man, he's still gonna cheat, he's still gonna screw another woman.
We do hear this?
Explain this to me, because I already know I got women haters watching me, and they're definitely gonna hit the dislike button when I ask them this question, because they can't answer it logically without looking like an idiot or looking selfish. If women don't cheat as much as men do, like y'all think so, even though we've had stats prove that y'all do, if anything, y'all cheat more than men do.
Yep.
But I digress, especially considering a lot of men aren't having sex nowadays, and y'all still having sex at the same rate. So that's telling in itself. But continuing on, if y'all are so more damn loyal than men, why do y'all have such pushback when it comes to men wanting to take a paternity test? When we have stats that show that basically every 1 out of 3 men find out that they're not the father. 1 out of every 3? 1 out of every 3. Y'all so damn loyal, but don't none of y'all want this to be mandatory. Why is that?
Because they know. The
It's like,
sisterhood
ain't
knows.
none of y'all gonna come out and just flat out say because I be cheating. Ain't none of y'all gonna come out and say that.
Nope.
But men, we look at things logically. That's the only reason that makes sense.
Yep.
Because based on how y'all talk about men, y'all are so much better. Y'all are so much loyal. Y'all don't cheat as much as men. That's what y'all claim. Then what's the problem? Really, what's the problem? Reality is y'all cheat more than y'all lead on. Y'all just don't get caught because men don't look in y'all phone as often. Hell, because we get shamed for doing that, as well as asking y'all to take paternity tests. Everything y'all do is to shame us from finding out the truth. And their reason for not wanting it is pretty much just another shame tactic.
Yep.
Reality is, fellas, man, these women be messing around more than they lead on, and they just don't want you to know about it. But I mean, for Christ's sakes, man, all y'all gotta do is watch a bunch of old Maury episodes.
So yeah, it is what it is. Again, I asked the question, do you think a woman should go to prison for claiming that a man is not the father of her child? And she knew, whether she knew or not, but you knew. Again, Mike told you, the kid is not my son. Thank you for logging on to Rubber Buggy Baby Boomer Radio. Devastating, titillating, definitely invigorating. Not like I'm insinuating that I think we stimulating. Reason that we get good ratings because we don't be perpetrating. All we got to do is touch a microphone. Put down in the comments what you think. Have you been a victim of paternity fraud? What happened? We would love to hear from you. Pray until something happens. God always provides. At pushgapradios.com, the power is in the name. Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe. Please hit that like button so we can move the algorithm. Again, let us know your circumstances or someone that you know. Pushgapradios.com. Dallas, baby. and we're out.
I told you it heat. Hey, this is Scott Moran. It's not just the brothers that listen to PushGapRadio.com. For the hottest new show in the Metroplex, it's Shackleford 1 in the main event on PushGapRadio.com. Hamilton Park, Dallas, Fort Worth. Dallas, baby.
PushGapRadio.com. Bridging the gap between old school and new school radio. PushGapRadio.com. It's Dallas, baby.